Hi guys, and welcome to kind of a first take on the audio Allure, this one over here, against its bigger brother, the Neon. I was kind of waiting for a few other IEMs to arrive before doing this, namely the Dunu SA6, RSV from Softears, Moondrop S8. But due to this whole COVID situation in China right now, things are extremely delayed in terms of delivery, and unfortunately, I won't be, well, at this time at least, be able to have those IEMs to compare them. I will be having them hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and then I will do a second part to this video comparing these two once again, and compare them to those IEMs I just mentioned. And so what we have in front of us here, well, we have the our audio Neon, an IEM which I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, and that I thoroughly enjoyed. It was an IM that then generated some talk because of its tuning, and this as I've said quite a few times before, I always understand, or I always try and understand the premise behind the tuning method that an engineer applies to his IEM. I try and understand why he's doing it that way, as long as it's well done. If it's not the case like the Muse Hi-Fi Power, where I just can't understand how anybody would consider that to be a properly tuned IEM. But anyway, but no, this the Neon, in a nutshell, is not a light. It's not an IEM for the light-hearted. Let's get that out of the way straight away. If you are looking for something which is smooth, calm, and collected, look elsewhere. That is not what the Neon is. The Neon is that kind of IM which says, I'm here. Is there a problem? Is there some sort of discord? Okay, that's the Neon. It makes its presence felt. It's got loads of energy in the bass, and you can definitely see that it's a Sonian BAs. It's Sonian BAs doing that work there. Loads of energy in the bass, without any sense of wanting to apologize for that. It's there, it's powerful, it hits you hard. The bass is clean, but there's loads of bass. Okay, loads. And so that's why I say this is not an IEM if what you're looking for is musical correctness. No, it's a colored IEM, very tastefully done. It has extremely good mids, in my opinion, at least, and for the music library that I use. I'll quickly show you here a graph. Okay, let's look at the blue line. So it's got nice mids which keep itself after a pinna gain at around 1k of about 8 dBs. It then keeps itself almost nice and smooth all the way until about 8k. It's not really big variations or anything of the sort there. And as you can see, yes, loads of bass energy, loads. Yes, there can be occasions where it feels like it bleeds slightly, and this excessive thickness of the bass can, for people which want a more correct reproduction in terms of, let me just zoom this in a little bit, there we go, that's much better. So people that are looking for a more correct reproduction in terms of voices and instruments and so on and so forth might not fall in love with the Neon for that reason. But as I said, and I'll repeat, this is not an IM for light-hearted people. This is an IM for people that like their presentation with guts, with presence. And if you like rock, this is the IM for that. If you like EDM, this will not disappoint. However, if you like classical music and that kind of stuff, it will play it, but it will not be at its best, because it will overcolor that genre of music and render it not faithfully reproduced. Okay, in terms of fit, although they are a humongous IEM, as you can see, I have really no complaints. They fit nicely. The same carries on with the Allure. The Allure, slightly smaller shell, but still a big shell. Fits beautifully, no issues there. And yeah, that's in a nutshell the Neon. Against things like the RSV, which I did test it at the time. I was lucky enough to have a unit borrowed lent to me, and the RSV is for chilling out and listening to music. Yes, it's got an amazingly good bass, but it's very relaxed. It's very laid back. It's very chilled out. It's not an IEM which is going to try and hammer you to death. Let's put it that way. No, that's not what it was tuned to be, and that's what it does, and it does it very well. The Neon is the opposite, which is correct, which is better, which is worse. I think at this point it's irrelevant. Both of them are well tuned for what they were tuned for. That's my take. If you want calm, collected, relaxed, RSV. If you want full of energy, let's go and kick some ass, let's put it that way, Neon. Okay, so enter the Allure. The Allure is a 6BA unit, all Knowles, 22955, 29689, and custom for the high frequency. Like the same kind of philosophy in terms of construction and quality and so on and so forth. Flawless. I mean, really, this video does not do justice to how beautiful this IEM is. This green jade kind of faceplate is beautifully done. What does it sound, or what is the sound like? Let me just quickly show you a graph once again, and this time let's look at the red line. Okay, so by looking at the graph, and remember, graphs don't say the whole story, you would say, oh, okay, this has got loads of bass as well, like the Neon, and it's darker because it's got less treble. No, it isn't. That's you're wrong. And why are you wrong? Well, I guess it's down first of all to the actual BAs themselves. Sonyans are known for having this very powerful bass. The 22955 can be made to sound that way, and in this case it has been made to sound that way, but you notice a certain difference. You notice, you know, when you have gained enough experience, I firmly believe that you can tell one BA from another BA, and I can, most of the times I haven't been wrong. I can tell a 22955 from a Sonyan BA that reproduces bass. This to say what? That although graphically it seems like they will both have the same kind of bass output, no, they don't. The bass is equally as textured and it's got quality, but there's less quantity to it. It's not so much in your face. Having said that, and that's where I think the biggest thing about the Allure then comes up, it's this. While from the moment you put on the Neon and you give it some volume and it carries on doing all the time, you feel that you are in the presence of an IEM which has got guts, balls, let's put it that way. The Allure is completely different. You're listening to it at low volume and it's very unassuming, very relaxed. It's kind of almost, it's kind of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation. So it's very relaxed, very chilled. You almost feel that it's boring, or you know. And then when you crank it the volume and you give it some power, it just transforms, and it comes alive in a very engaging and almost visceral way, especially in the bass department. It really hits you hard. The mids maintain themselves always extremely composed. I would personally say that I actually think the mids on the Allure are better than the mids in the Neon, and I think it's down to the way that the texture of the bass is actually done. I mean, the amount of bass, the texture of the bass, the quality of the bass is so interconnected with the mids that, you know, it will dictate how good your mids are. Equally good mids, let's put it this way, and you have one bad bass reproduction on the one, and a good bass reproduction on the other. You know, it will be a day and night difference. So, for example, when you listen to Ease Your Mind from Darius over here on the Neon, it is always hitting you hard and slamming you hard, you know. On the Allure, if you listen to it low volume, it sounds very chill, very relaxed, and then when you give it some power, so it scales extremely well, it comes alive, and then you say, oh my god, what is this? It's that kind of presentation the Allure is capable of doing. In terms of the high frequencies, I didn't find the high frequencies in any way lacking. If anything, I actually think it's got as much energy in the high frequency as the neon, and this is again down to that difference in the way that the bass is reproduced. With regards to technicalities, I think as again that the Allure edges out slightly the neon in certain departments, and I think it edges it out basically down to what I've mentioned before, the fact that the neon has perhaps a over thickness in the way that it reproduces its bass can for some people and can for some music genres hinder that reproduction less faithful, while in the Allure, yes, you are closer to a more faithful reproduction of music. It will be able to play things in a more in a manner that will please perhaps more people. Okay, let's say it that way. Soundstage is adequately wide and deep enough. Imaging, that's where I think it loses out to the neon. Funny enough, detailed retrieval is about the same. Timbre and tonality, I found it depended very much on the music I was listening to. With certain music, with certain stuff, like for example female voices, La Luna, for example, from Climatic, it it both reproduced the voice very well, but I think that the neon is more organic. It gets away with not being so BA-ish, let's put it that way, while the Allure perhaps they does show a little bit more of its BA, let's say, genetics. Okay, so it, you know, that ability that DDs normally have, it's it's there, it's slightly lost. However, having said that, if I'm listening to for example Frank McComb, what you're gonna do? The Allure edges out the neon. So it's look, the reality is this: there's not huge differences, and will be very much dependent on what tip you're using, what music you like listening to. Me personally, with what I listen to, I found that the neon edges out. Sorry, the Allure edges out the neon more times than what I was initially expecting. I was initially expecting that yes, okay, you have all the space, but the truth is that this, because of the way the bass is reproduced, is a more coherent sounding IM, and with that it ends up being more fun, more engaging, because it's more versatile. Again, I'm not saying that the neon is bad. No, I love the neon. If you guys have seen my review of the neon, you know that I'm a big fan. As compared to the other the IEMs that I mentioned earlier, like I say, I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I don't have them with me. Although I would say that it is the Allure is smoother, definitely, than the neon. It approximates itself more to an RSV, but without having the RSV with me here and really comparing it and the SA6 and the S8 from Moondrop, I would prefer not to say too much. I would say just that it's more, it's smoother. It's capable of being smoother and having a bit of that kind of musical reproduction that those IEMs are capable of doing. And then when called for, it can have a more aggressive, more in your face reproduction that the neon is known for. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, let's put it that way. And that's basically it, guys. I mean, like I said, this is a little first part. I will be doing second part, and even compared to other IEMs if there's need for that, if people want me to do that, and if I have the ability of getting them, I will do it. But I will be doing another part where I compare it to the SA6, RSV, S8, and then I'll also compare it to some items from Seeaudio, the ST8B, the ST6A, and perhaps even some audio sense, the DT600 and the T800 as well. Why not? Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little first take of mine on the Allure. Definite surprise. Was very impressed. I knew that it was going to be very good. I knew because I accompanied its development. Let's put it that way, and I knew that lessons had been learned with regards to the neon and applied properly on the Allure. So I knew it was going to be good. I just am surprised that it's as good as it is. I didn't think that the that the gap between the two could actually be very minimal, very minimal. Anyway, guys, thank you. Take care. Bye bye.